watching an Eagle Eye session. It's our job for the next 30 minutes or so to tell you what we can about Boston College, not just from an official viewbook standpoint, but from the real live actors on the stage at BC. I have with us 4 students. These 4 students are various experiences, years, and activities at Boston College, and I'd like them to introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Christy. I'm a freshman in the College of Arts and Sciences. I'm from Plattsburgh, New Hampshire, and I'm majoring in philosophy and environmental geoscience.
Hello everybody, my name is Isaiah Bienami. I'm a sophomore in the College of Arts and Sciences from Stamford, Connecticut, currently studying economics.
Hey everyone, my name's Sarah. I'm currently a senior in the Canal School of Nursing with a major in nursing and a minor in faith, peace, and justice studies, and I'm originally from right outside of St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi everyone, my name is Tim Peterson and I'm a sophomore in the Carroll School of Management concentrating in accounting and economics. I'm originally from Green Bay, Wisconsin.
That's great. So what we're going to do is now ask some questions wherever you are in the admissions process, whether you're just starting out or in the last throes of making your decision. We hope that we can cover some information here at BC that will help you along the way to know whether this is the right place for you and this is the place that might be your home for the next 4 years. So let's start with some easy questions. Christy, how did you end up at Boston College? Tell us about your journey here.
Okay, so I started off in a tough decision-making process. It was down between BC and a few other schools, and I came to a Mid-Eagle Day, and I sat in a classroom with Professor Madigan, and he was just kind of giving a mock lecture on philosophy, and he completely blew my mind. He was saying things and explaining things in ways that I could never have imagined before. And knowing that he was going to be teaching a freshman class and that I would have the opportunity to take a class by such a wonderful professor, I knew that BC was going to be the place for me.
Now, if I can ask you, Sarah, you said that you're a senior, so it's been 4 years since your first classes here and your first experience. Tell us about the biggest surprise that you experienced coming all the way from St. Louis, Missouri, here to Boston College.
I think my biggest surprise, not only for myself but for my peers and my friends around me, is how much we've all changed in 4 years. College is obviously a formative process, and leaving high school, I knew 4 years later when I was graduating college, I would be different, but I didn't realize how different. Something about BC, the Jesuit nature of the classes and of the community here, the school spirit that students have, the discussions, and the level of insight and curiosity that everyone at BC really supports has changed me immensely, and I know I would be a far, far different person today, graduating in just about 3 weeks, than I would be if I had gone anywhere else.
Now, staying in the beginning part of your career at Boston College, Tim, let's talk about going to a school that has 9,000 undergraduates. Some people think that's quite big. For other people, where they're used to big public universities in their state, that could be small. Tell us about what the size of 9,000 has meant to your experience overall, socially, academically, and otherwise.
Sure. The high school that I went to was a small high school. It was about 700 students. So the number 9,000 frightened me at first when I was coming here. But when I came to my admitted Eagle Day session, when I walked around the campus really has a small community-like feeling, and so that kind of reassured me and comforted me. And the size of 9,000, as I've experienced it as a student at Boston College, it's large enough where you can meet new people every day, but still small enough where you can run into your friends and you can see 10 to 15 students that you know on your way to class.
Well, let's talk about friends. Isaiah, how do you make friends at Boston College? We don't have Greek life, so the structures that other colleges and universities have isn't ours. Talk about your first weeks here. How did you make friends? How did you get to know the people at BC?
All right, so the great thing about Boston College is that's definitely an open community. So freshman year, I was one of the freshmen who came in and had my door closed freshman year. But when you do come in freshman year, have your doors open. Everybody's walking around on your floor, and they want to be able to make that transition as well into college. So in terms of friend, get involved early on. We have this thing we have an event known as Student Activities Day. It happens on Linden Lane. All 230 clubs and organizations will set up a table, and it's a great time for students to kind of interact early on, outside the dorm experience, and also meet the freshmen here on campus. So making friends here on this campus, it's typically easy. Just get involved. Be willing to get out of your comfort zone when you come into Boston College and know that this is a transition period. So things that you were doing before, you kind of have to revitalize or rechange new ways, and that's the way I kind of made friends here my freshman year.
Let's talk about work, though. There's a lot of academic work that goes into all 4 years here, but the transition from high school work to college work is one that we want to make sure that our students do. Christy, going from high school to college this year, Talk about the differences and expectations that teachers had of you here at Boston College and how they were different in high school. How did you adapt? How have you become a successful college student here at BC?
It was definitely a big change academic-wise. I was used to having quizzes and tests every week back at the school that I went to, and here it was exams you had midterms and finals, and so at first I was very nervous, but you really have time to prepare for those, and as long as you stay on top of your reading and such, you're really going to have time to do well on those bigger exams and examinations, really. Also, being part of the honors program here on campus has really been a step up for me academically. I definitely went to a high academic high school, but the honors program has really pushed me and really cultivated my learning experience here. It's been great, but it's definitely been a big challenge, but a challenge that you can definitely take on.
Some people worry about the transition from high school to college because they go from a transition of high school teachers that they know in many different formats to college professors, which are research heavy, and many are coming from industries that they teach. Sarah, give us an example of some of the relationships that you've had with faculty here. Were you nervous at the outset, and now that, again, you're a senior, have you really cultivated great friendships and great mentorships through the faculty here at BC?
Yeah. The faculty at BC are probably one of my favorite parts about the academic life at Boston College. I guess I wasn't really nervous going into it, and maybe I should have been. I didn't really anticipate the difference between teachers and professors, and got here and realized what that change was like. But for me, the professors have been incredible. Boston College is really focused on the undergraduate experience, and all of its professors are as well. This is a great school, and our professors are some of the top in their fields, and they could teach anywhere, but they choose to teach at Boston College, and I really, truly believe that's because of the students. All professors here are required to keep office hours at least once a week. I think even if that wasn't a requirement, they would still do that because they really do want to get to know their students on a personal level. My favorite story is my freshman year, I took a philosophy and theology class called Pulse. I was the only freshman in a class full of all sophomores, and though I'm quite a chatterbox, I was really intimidated and didn't talk much. And my professor, around about October, saw me in the dining hall, sitting with my friends, and she came over to my table and said, who are you? Where is this person in my classroom? Why don't you interact like this, like you interact with your friends? And sort of gave me that push, and she asked really tough questions and would single people out. But I grew immensely in her class, both as a student and as a person. I've continued a relationship with her for the last 4 years. She's my thesis advisor. She is an incredible mentor to me. She knows every single part about my life. We talk about what I want to do after graduation, and 5 years from now and 10 years from now. She knows all about my family. She's met both of my parents, and she's somebody that I know that I'll treasure that relationship for the rest of my life.
Now, Isaiah, is that rare? But even, as a sophomore, have you developed those kind of friendships and relationships with faculty so far?
Yeah, so that's definitely not something that's not rare here on this campus, but as I mentioned in my first answer is that you want to get out of your comfort zone. She mentioned that professors have to hold office hours, so it was during those office hours I was going into my professor's office hours, interacting with them, picking their brains, really getting to understand who they were so they could also understand who I was as a person. It's important to develop that relationship because when the professor understands you, outside the classroom setting, it really does help you in the classroom setting. So I go to office hours at least twice a week with my labor economics teacher, and he'll just kind of shed knowledge on me from the different presidential cabinets he's been a part of, and that's an important connection to build because when you come to Boston College, you want to find mentors here on campus, but you also want to network yourself. All our professors are relevant in their field, so picking up internships would also be a great opportunity when you're building that connection with your professors here on this campus. So even as a sophomore, I found that building those connections with professors have been relatively easy.